Good morning, students. Welcome back to our YouTube channel schoolquiz.com. As you know, my name is Danish Agarwal. As we have started our chapter number 3, that is matter around us pure? We have started with our chapter number 2, that is matter around us pure, of class 9 CBSE. As I have discussed that is chapter number 3 and chapter number 4 of class 9 CBSE, that is atoms and molecules and structure of atom. With that, our chemistry portion of term 2 syllabus has been covered. So if you have any doubts in chapter number 3 or chapter number 4, you can watch my previous videos. So today we will discuss our topic, that is what is a compound. What is a compound? As I have already made two videos on our topic, that is matter around us pure. In first video, I have discussed about the introduction, what is a pure substance, what are its classifications. And in my second video, I have discussed what is an element and what are its classifications. Now I will discuss the second classification of pure substance, that is a compound. So let's start, students. That is chapter number 2. Chapter number 2 is matter around us pure. Is matter around us pure? First of all, I will give you a brief introduction. It is pure substance which can be classified as elements and compounds. Elements was one of three types: metals, non-metals, and metalloids. We have discussed that is what is a pure substance, classifications, and in our second video we have discussed what is an element and what are its types. So try to watch videos in continuity. Like first of all, you watch part number 1, then part 2, and then we'll go to part number 3. Don't jump to part 3 directly. Okay. So today we will discuss our topic, that is what is a compound. What is a compound? Very important topic, that is what is a compound. Generally question comes about, that is what is difference between compound and a mixture. So first of all, we will discuss what is a compound, then we will discuss what is a mixture, and then we will go to their difference, that is difference between compounds and mixtures. So first of all, we will start what is a compound. What is a compound? A compound. What is a compound? A compound is a substance. A compound is a substance composed of two or more. A compound is a substance composed of two or more elements chemically combined in a fixed ratio. Chemically combined in a fixed ratio is called a compound. You have to main points are that it is combined in a fixed ratio. So what is a compound? A compound is a substance composed of two or more elements that combined in a fixed ratio is called a compound. For example, if we talk about examples are like water, that is their ratio is fixed, that is 2:1. Like CO2, that is 1:2. We can write it as H2O2. We can't write H2O2 as water. It is not a water. It is hydrogen peroxide. So we can see that ratio is fixed. That is 2:1 by atoms. 2:1. So what is a compound? A compound is a substance composed of two or more elements chemically combined in a fixed ratio. Is called compound. Example: water, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, ammonia, etc. All these are the examples of the compound. So now we will discuss main characteristics of compound, major points of compound. So we will discuss one by one. That is, first one is definite elements as present in a definite ratio. We have already discussed. Second one is elements combine chemically to form a compound. Elements combine chemically to form a compound. The next point is constituents cannot be separated by constituents cannot be separated by simple simple physical methods. Simple physical methods. We can't separate them by simple physical methods. We can't separate them by simple physical methods. For example, we have water. We have water. Can we separate hydrogen and oxygen? Can we separate hydrogen and oxygen by just simply physical methods? For example, by hand picking. But it is not possible. It is not possible. They can only be separated by chemical methods. Chemical methods, or we can say that electrochemical methods. For example, if we want to separate water, we have to provide electric current. We have to provide electric current. Then it will dissociate into hydrogen and oxygen. So we can say that constituents cannot be separated by simple physical methods. Next point is that is a compound is always homogeneous in nature. A compound is always homogeneous in nature. A compound is always homogeneous in nature. That is single phase. Next is considerable energy changes takes place. Considerable energy changes take place. Considerable energy changes take place during the formation or decomposition of a compound. During the formation or decomposition of a compound. Next major point is the new substance has entirely different properties as those of its constituent particles. This point means that the compound which is formed from its constituent particles, it is entirely different. We will take two examples here to understand this point in detail. That is, first one is water. If we say water is composed of, or we can say that made up of atoms of hydrogen and oxygen. As we know, hydrogen hydrogen is a highly highly flammable gas, highly flammable gas, whereas oxygen is supporter of supporter of combustion, supporter of combustion. Supporter of combustion means that is, as we know, without the presence of oxygen no burning will be there. Without the presence of oxygen no burning can take place. That we can say that oxygen is a supporter of combustion, supporter of oxygen. And hydrogen is a highly flammable gas. It means it catches fire very easily. But as we know that water water cuts off the the supply of oxygen supply of water cuts off the supply of oxygen, and it extinguishes the fire. So we can see that the properties of water is entirely different from its constituent particles, that is hydrogen and oxygen. Now we will take another example, that is of like sodium chloride. As we know, sodium chloride is made up of sodium and chlorine. As we know, sodium is a highly highly reactive element. Which catches fire very easily. So we have to uh, put sodium in kerosene oil, that it will not catch fire. And second thing, as we know, chlorine is a very poisonous gas. Poisonous gas poisonous gas. But as we know, we eat sodium chloride daily. Whereas you can see that there are that is sodium and chlorine is entirely different from sodium chloride. That is, sodium chloride properties is entirely different from the properties of sodium and chlorine. So I think that this point is clear to you. That is, the substance has entirely different properties from its constituent particles. So this is all about what today's topic, that is compound. What is a compound? A compound is a substance which is made up of two or more substances which are combined in a fixed ratio. And we have discussed major points of topic compound, that is, they always combine in a fixed ratio. Second one is their properties is entirely different from its constituent particles. Third one is the new substance. The constituents can be separated only by chemical or electrochemical methods, or they can't be separated by physical methods. So this is all about our today's topic, that is compound. In our next video we will discuss what is mixture and what are its types. And after completing that topic, we will discuss very very important question, that is, what is difference between mixture and compound. So thank you very much, students. Please share it with your friends also. So thank you very much.